Well, speaking of writing songs, I think that's a good segue to a story that Joey brought to my attention.
Oh, Joey.
Danzig, the ghostwriter. Did you know about this?
No.
So Joey pointed out the Johnny Cash thing to me because I knew that Johnny Cash had did the song, but I always thought it was Danzig's song because Danzig does Danzig does a version of it too on one of his albums. But then I started doing some research, and apparently Danzig ghost wrote for Roy Orbison as well.
Okay.
So This is from American Songwriter, and I'll just plow through this real quick, make a good segment. 2 songs you didn't know Glenn Danzig wrote for music legends Roy Orbison and Johnny Cash, and it's from, like I said, American Songwriter. As a founding member of the horror punk band The Misfits in the late 70s, through his transition to Samhain and Namesake, the murkier metal of Danzig in the 1980s, singer Glenn Danzig has written a catalog of hundreds of songs. You know what's crazy, too, to think about is Danzig was in the Misfits. Like, Metallica covers...
Yeah.
You know...
Misfits songs.
Die, 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 my darling.
Yeah.
Green Hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing, too, is, like, people are all mad about stuff. And, like, remember when Danzig said, I got something to say, I raped your baby today, or I raped your baby today, or whatever. Anyway, inspired by the silver screen, the band taking their time from Marilyn Monroe's final film in 1961's The Misfits, Danzig penned Misfits songs from the titles of 1950s and 60s cult and B movies, sci-fi and more ghoulish flicks from the likes of Ed Wood and George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead, or films starring the Merchant of Venice, Vincent Price. And paying homage to one of the first women of horror, Finnish actress Mila Numi, with Vampire in 1981, Danzig added more songs from his own movie-tinted and macabre mindset, like Die, Die, My Darling, and Horror Business, She, Where Eagles Dare, and Hollywood Babylon.
Okay.
Crooning more like his idol Elvis Presley, and influenced by everyone from Chicago bluesmen like Willie Dixon and the Doors to Bo Diddley and the Ramones, Danzig continued showing his depth as a songwriter with the harder core goth punk of Samhain from 1983 to 1987, and through the bluesier doom metal days of Danzig by the late 80s through the present. Adding to his already dark catalog of music in 1987 and 94, Danzig ended up writing some woeful tunes for 2 music legends. Here's a look at 2 songs Danzig wrote for Roy Orbison and Johnny Cash. The first one, Life Fades Away, from Roy Orbison in 1987, written by Glenn Danzig and Roy Orbison. Few people recognize that Glenn Danzig is a heavy metal Roy Orbison. Read a 2011 post on the official Roy Orbison Facebook page. He and Roy were friends and wrote a great song in 1987 called Life Fades Away. When producer Rick Rubin was working on the soundtrack for the 1987 drama Less Than Zero, starring Robert Downey Jr., Andrew McCarthy, James Spader, Jamie Gertz, and Flea, he combined a collection of original songs and covers, including Kiss's Rock and Roll All Night, performed by Poison, Slayer's rendition of Iron Butterfly's 1968 classic Inagata Davida, and Simon & Garfunkel's A Hazy Shade of Winter by the Bangles. I'm going to have to revisit that Slayer cover.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Rubin, who's also producing the debut album for Danzig in 1987, including the hit Mother, enlisted Glenn to co-write 2 tracks for the soundtrack. Along with Rubin, Danzig co-wrote You and Me, Less Than Zero, which he performed with Power and the Fury Orchestra, and another song co-written with and performed with his friend Roy Orbison called Life Fades Away. In classic Orbison twang and falsetto, Life Fades Away is a sorrowful telling of the end of one's days and all they must leave behind. The song was recorded less than a year before Orbison's own passing on December 6, 1988, at the age of 51. It wasn't a Danzig song, said Danzig in a 2019 interview. I wrote him a Roy Orbison song because I'm writing for Roy Orbison. I got to go out to his pad in Malibu a couple times, teach him the song when I was in the studio with him, Rick, and George Draculius. It was a really cool experience. Featured on the Less Than Zero soundtrack and played over the closing credits in the film, Life Fades Away was later released on the 2017 reissue of Orbison's 1992 posthumous album, King of Hearts. Glenn Danzig wrote the more ominous tale of 13 about someone who lived a perpetual life of hard luck for Johnny Cash, while the country legend was recording his 81st album.
Wow. 81st.
Him and Willie Nelson, man, they just like never stopped.
I'm gonna play a song from my 63rd album now.
I thought Maiden was bad, dude. Like
Yeah.
Maiden has like 30 albums or something. 50 maybe. We should look that up. I don't even know. It's a lot though.
Yeah.
But not 81.
No, not 80.
The album also included songs contributed by his former stepson-in-law, Nick Lowe, Tom Waits, along with covers by Leonard Cohen, Chris Christopherson, and was produced by Rick Rubin, who had previously worked with Danzig on the Less Than Zero soundtrack and Danzig's debut. Cash or his kids had heard the song I wrote for Roy Orbison, and they're like, "You should get this guy to write you a song," shared Danzig, who ended up writing 13 for Cash within minutes. They said, "You want to write him a song?" I go, "Fuck yeah, I'll write him a song." And I had it in 15 to 20 minutes. 13 was just my idea of Cash as a badass and cool and the man in black. Danzig also wrote another song for Cash, Come to Silver, which he was never able to share with the legend and later recorded on Danzig's fifth album, Black Acid Devil, in 1996. But I played it for him, and he's like, "I love it," said Danzig. Following his work on American Recordings, Danzig received more unexpected songwriting offers from some of Cash's friends. I remember getting a call in the studio, "Glenn, Johnny Cash is on the phone." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Glenn, we're on the road, and we've got a couple of friends who want to talk to you," said Danzig. And Chris Christopherson gets on the phone telling me he loves the song, and would you write me one? And then Waylon Jennings gets on the phone, and my mind is blown.
So what I want to know is, he didn't write any songs about any cats or anything, or picking up any cat litter or anything.
I think about that all the time. That cat litter photo of Danzig. I mean, I love it though. It humanizes him because he's kind of one of those guys who's not really out there as much as like a lot of other rock stars are. So I think someone kind of caught him off guard getting the cat litter, and he's like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Just getting some cat litter, bro."
Yeah.
Have you seen that photo, Joey?
Yeah.